Representative Chambers, the 81st, moves to amend Senate Bill 39 as follows. Starting on line 95, add a new paragraph and renumber accordingly. No revenue from public funds shall be used for speculative investments. No revenue from public funds shall be used for real estate acquisition or development for a purpose other than transportation or the direct facilitation thereof.
Is there objection to the adoption of the amendment? Is there objection? Chair has none. The amendment's adopted. Clerk will read the next amendment.
Representative Millar and others, Representative Chambers, Representative Earhart, Representative Jacobs, all for the following amendment. Amend the substitute Senate Bill 39 LC 342180S by replacing lines 1 through 4 with the following: to amend an act known as the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority Act of 1965. Approved March 10, 1965, Georgia Laws 1965, page 2243 as amended, so as to change the allocation regarding the use of sales tax proceeds, provide for an effective date to repeal conflicting laws and for other purposes. By replacing lines 22 through 28 with the following, beginning January 1, 2009 and ending June 30th, 2011, no more than 60% of the proceeds of the tax shall be used to subsidize the operating costs of the system, exclusive of depreciation, amortization, and other costs and charges as provided in this subsection. The Board of the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Authority shall file with the Metropolitan Atlanta Rapid Transit Overview Committee.
Is there objection to the adoption of the amendment? There is objection. Gentleman moves. What purpose, Representative Gardner, rise?
Thank you very much, Mr. Speaker. Members of the House, if this amendment passes, we will continue in Georgia to have the only rapid transit system with a formula about how to expend the dollars that come in, as opposed to providing the flexibility that the MARTA leadership needs.
Is it not true? What purpose, Representative Abrams, rise?
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that, contrary to the example given earlier by Representative Millar, in transit-heavy organizations such as the trucking industry, transit operations tend to have at least a minimum of 68% of their proceeds being used for labor cost as opposed to capital cost, and that this amendment, much like the existing bill or like the existing law, creates a structure that is inconsistent with the normal operational costs that must be allocated to labor by transit organizations?
Chair has no knowledge of that subject and allow each and every member to determine that for themselves after reading of the bill. What purpose, Representative Earhart, rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Isn't it true that this amendment, although probably over generous from the 55-45 that we've done in the past, is a reasonable compromise with respect to this? Isn't it true? And that we should vote to support this amendment?
That's a matter we're going to let each and every member determine for themselves by their vote. What purpose? I'm getting close to the end of these. Representative Miller.
Mr. Speaker, parliamentary inquiry.
State your inquiry.
Isn't it true that up until a few years ago, MARTA used to actually publish their salaries in the Atlanta newspaper, but because they had so many people in the six-figure racket that they stopped publishing them?
Chair has absolutely no information on that, and each and every member can determine that from themselves. What purpose, Representative Bruce, rise? You got something new to add to this? All right.
Yeah, I think I need to chime in. Is it not true that there are no state funds used at MARTA? I think I'm addressing the Speaker.
I don't know of any.
Is it also not true that MARTA operates off of funds from Fulton County, DeKalb County, and the federal government?
The Chair has no information on that. I assume it's correct. I thought they worked off their user fees.
And user fees, excuse me, you're correct. User fees.
And the sales tax generated in those jurisdictional limits.
Thank you very much.
For purpose, Representative Shook, rise.
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Mr. Speaker, is it not true that we just passed in House Bill 277 one of the most progressive, expansive pieces of legislation pertaining to transportation and which will potentially impact transportation throughout the entire state?
We'll see when the Senate takes it up how expansive and progressive it is.
But is it not true that we just passed the legislation?
We passed 277, we did.
Is it not also true, Mr. Speaker, that in trying to cripple MARTA's ability to manage its funds, that we, in effect, prevent that same progression with this mass transit system that we just implemented for our highways and rapid rail throughout the state?
Chair has no opinion of that matter. Let's vote on this issue. Let's vote on this amendment. All those in favor of adoption of the amendment vote aye. Those opposed, no. And the clerk unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members now voted? So the clerk will lock the machine on the gentleman's amendment. The yeas are 97, the nays 62. The amendment is adopted. Clerk will read the next. What purpose Representative Mangum rise? You'd have to press the button. What purpose does Representative Mangum rise?
Unfortunately, Mr. Speaker,
What purpose does Representative Mangum rise?
parliamentary inquiry, Mr.
State
Speaker.
your inquiry.
Is it not true that I voted on a bill that would allow $25 billion to be expended and that this particular...
I'm not going to debate this anymore. If you want to move to reconsider, that's a motion in order. We're not going to debate.
I would like to...
Gentleman moves the House to reconsider its action and given a majority vote to the Miller amendment. All those in favor of the motion vote aye. Those opposed, no. And the clerk will unlock the machine. Have all members voted? Have all members voted? So the clerk will lock the machine on the gentleman's motion. The yeas are 59, the nays are 99. The House has failed to reconsider its action. Clerk, please read the next amendment.
Representative Gardner of the 57th and others, all following amendment, amend the House Committee on Transportation Substitutes, Senate Bill 39, LC 342180S, by inserting on line 22 after January 1, 2009 the following, and ending on June 30th, 2014.
Is there objection to the adoption of the amendment? There is objection. Lady move. What purpose does Representative Earhart rise?
Parliamentary inquiry, Mr. Speaker.
State your inquiry.
Can you rule on this amendment because it now amends the same line 22 that was just amended in the previous amendment? That would be out of order.
I looked at that earlier, and I actually think it is in order, and here's why.